What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to a very important Turbo update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so as you guys can see, Turbo has fallen back beneath the $400 million market cap. It's currently at a $390 million market cap. Regardless, though, that is still a very strong move over the last month. And you can clearly see that right here. Over the last month or so, I have had Turbo drawn in this falling wedge, and this falling wedge broke out perfectly. And if you pull out the measuring tool, you can see that Turbo ran up about 134% from the lows. And this move took almost exactly 1 month. Now, what I find very interesting about Turbo at the moment is you could argue that it's almost forming a textbook cup and handle. This is clearly a very rounded bottom, and then now you can see that we're forming the handle. If you guys have been watching me for a considerable amount of time, you know that I love cup and handle patterns. Oftentimes, cup and handles are extremely bullish. So personally, I'd be treating this little handle as if it's a bull flag. And in theory, if this handle were to break out, it could have a huge measure move, and it could take us all the way up to 0.0087. So it'd take us back somewhat close to a penny. Now, obviously, is this measured move guaranteed to play out? No, it's not. But sometimes you do see technical analysis play out perfectly. Just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, if you guys watch any of my market updates, you'll know that I called the S&P bull flag perfectly. In this case, though, we have actually went above the measured move. But I initially called this bull flag retesting the 21-day moving average with extremely oversold stochastics. And I said there's a very high likelihood that this breaks to the upside. And you can see that we absolutely ripped from there. Now, the measured move and the timing is never really going to be 100% accurate. That is very difficult to actually predict. But if you can get someone in the ballpark, then you can make a lot of money in this market. Now, the setup for Turbo isn't quite as clean as this. However, it does look solid right now. And if you look at Ethereum, you can see that Ethereum is ripping. Ethereum is currently above $3,750. Now, what's very interesting about Ethereum, though, is it's actually getting close to retesting the previous local top. And as you guys know, we have basically triple topped in the past this cycle. So this $4,100 range is going to be a very important level for Ethereum. If we can see Ethereum break above that 4,100 range, then that will be very bullish. Now, I'm not saying that it has to happen right now, but eventually we want to break this level. If we come up here and we have a quadruple top, then that's not going to be a great look. Now, do also understand that when you look at the daily time frame, the RSI and stochastics are getting very overbought. Eventually, we are going to have a pullback. The question is, where will Ethereum top out first? And in that regard, only time will tell. But for Ethereum, keep your eyes on that 4,100 level. And naturally, the better that Ethereum does, the better that a project like Turbo is going to do. And if we come over here and we look at the meme coin market, you can see that meme coins are starting to get some good volume again. The volume has dropped a little bit because it's the weekend. That's to be expected. However, even Dogecoin right now is 3.5 billion. Just about a month ago, it was under 600 million in volume. So it being a weekend and being over 3.5 billion is excellent. And if you scroll down, you can see that Turbo's volume is still very good. Turbo has 56 million in volume. And you can see that Turbo's actually up 31% in the last week. But if you compare Turbo's volume to a lot of the projects that are ranked above it, it's higher. And if you click on Turbo, you can see that's with the volume being down over the last day. It's down 24% in the last 24 hours. But you can see a lot of the volume right now is coming from Binance and Gate.io. Binance has 13% and Gate.io also has 13%. But overall, Turbo's volume has pretty good distribution. It's not all just coming from 1 or 2 exchanges. That's a good sign. That means the exchanges are working. Now, if we come over and we look at the Turbo X account, Turbo's currently at 112,000 followers, almost 113,000. And they just reposted this 1 hour ago. Turbo is the first vibe-coded cryptocurrency. There is no second best. And then I like their post right here 23 hours ago. Friends who became family, the greatest gift we choose for ourselves. And this right here is part of what makes meme coins and Turbo specifically so great. At the end of the day, community is always going to be the most important thing for a meme coin. You can have an elite narrative, you can have an elite team, but community is always what is going to matter the most. That's what exchanges look at, that's what everyone is going to look at. How strong is the community? And I've always said that I believe Turbo has one of the strongest communities out there. That's one of the biggest reasons that I cover Turbo all the time. I genuinely believe that. But there hasn't really been any major news recently for Turbo specifically. Again, Ethereum is just ripping right now. And that is causing a lot of projects to break out. And I know some people are disappointed because over the last couple days, Turbo's pulled back. But personally, I don't see any issue with that at all. It pumped up over 100% in around a month. Naturally, when you have a move that explosive for a project of this size, you're going to have a pullback. And right now, you could argue that it's forming a textbook cup and handle pattern. There's a chance that this cup and handle could break out parabolically. So make sure you guys are watching this. But that's about it for the update today on Turbo. If you guys are interested in Turbo and you guys are interested in getting into projects super early, then as always, I recommend taking a look at my Discord. As you guys know, we've been printing in here this entire bull run. And if you look through the all-time gainer list, we have hit some massive multipliers in here. Some of these projects, you could have turned $1,000 into over $200,000. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. It'd be awesome to see you guys in there. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about Turbo. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.